With the rest of Saturday's action starting with Coventry and Derby.
With only 1 point from their previous 4 games, City were in need of a win. Steve Froggatt got them off to a good start. He settled smoothly back into the Premiership following his move from Wolves, and his shot led to Coventry taking the lead. Noel Whelan the scorer, with his 6th of the season. Paul Williams forced a good save from Mark Poom in first half stoppage time, and Derby were fortunate to turn round only 1-0 down after failing to impress. But the visitors improved after manager Jim Smith made 2 tactical substitutions for the second half. One of those replacements, Lee Carsley, was in the right place to bring Derby level. And he doesn't get many. Carsley's last goal was back in September '97. John Aloisi made his Premiership debut late on for the Sky Blues, but it ended Coventry City 1, Derby County 1.
A bit of luck. Bits and balls I felt we should have had. And the game, really, as you say, it could have been right out of sight at half-time. But that's the way we were playing just now. We have a lot of chances. The other team has 1 or 2 and scores 1.
Newcastle got back into the top half of the table with just their 2nd win in 9 games, and they thought they'd got off to the perfect start. Matt Elliott, though, not penalised after Stephen Glass's shot hit his hands. In the absence of both Alan Shearer and Duncan Ferguson, Newcastle relied on Andreas Andersson to try and beat the Leicester defence. But on another frustrating afternoon, the Swede extended his barren run to 9 games without a goal. And he wasn't the only wasteful finisher. Emil Heskey hasn't built his reputation by missing these. And while the chances were being missed, so was Alan Shearer. And Newcastle were relying on the impressive Glass to try and break Leicester's resolve. 10 minutes into the second half, the crowd's calls were answered. Shearer back after 4 weeks out with a hamstring injury. And 10 minutes later, the prayers were answered too. Steve Guppy with a ricochet clearance. Stephen Glass with the finish. Newcastle with the points. Newcastle United 1, Leicester City 0.
Southampton's season took a distinct turn upwards with an emphatic victory over Wimbledon. Don's keeper Neil Sullivan was repeatedly under pressure from a Southampton side who'd lost their last 3 matches. Hassan Kachul was the first of many Saints players to be foiled by Sullivan, who made a marvellous double save from James Beattie and Kachul moments later. Sullivan's opposite number, Paul Jones, set up Southampton's opening goal. His clearance was headed on by Beattie, and Egil Ostenstad ended Southampton's goal drought. They hadn't scored in 282 minutes of Premiership football. Southampton maintained their pressure on the Wimbledon goal. Beattie forced another fine save from Sullivan. And then when Beattie did beat the keeper, he found the post and not the net. The post also came to Wimbledon's rescue early in the second half, when Carlton Palmer's shot struck the woodwork. And Southampton must have thought they weren't going to score again, particularly when Matt Le Tissier saw Sullivan rescue Wimbledon once more. But Sullivan was beaten for a second time on 66 minutes. Le Tissier's cross found Hassan Kachul in space, the Moroccan's first goal for the Saints. Moments later, Southampton scored again to secure only their 3rd Premiership victory this season. Ostenstad's cross was met by Beattie. Kachul picked up the rebound off the post, and Ostenstad claimed his 2nd of the match and 5th of the season. Wimbledon did gain a late consolation goal. Michael Hughes' cross was turned in by Marcus Gale for his 8th of the season, but it was Southampton's day. Southampton 3, Wimbledon 1.
When you've got teams under the cosh and you are creating chances, you have to put them away.
and we haven't been doing that of late. And today we did, and then it allows you to, you know, gain that little bit of confidence, knock the ball around a bit more freely, and the opposition then have to come out and attack you, and we exploited the spaces that they left.
Got action. Emmanuel Petit with the long ball. It will be flicked on beautifully by Nicholas Anelka to the oncoming Dennis Bergkamp. That's his third goal in his last 2 matches. It is 1-0 Arsenal. On to the second half, and it's Bergkamp this time setting up Patrick Vieira with the sweet pass, and Vieira with the rocket. Gunners up 2-0. But Leeds was not done. They would fight back behind Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. One of the hardest shots of the year. Incoming! A missile. That pulled Leeds back within a goal. But Arsenal had too much. Again, it is Bergkamp, this time setting up Petit. And the Frenchman with the great finish and the great hair. He seals the 3-1 victory for Arsenal.